They won't attack you outright. They'll erode you, quietly, slowly, strategically. Not with war, but with absence. Not with blades, but with doubt. Not with fury, but with silence when you cried for backup. They'll smile while they undermine you. They'll comfort you into stagnation, and you'll call it love. But it isn't love, it's control, and you'll surrender to it until the part of you that bends finally breaks. That's when the real transformation begins. That's when the version of you that bleeds for acceptance has to die. No one's coming. No one's saving you. And the world? The world bows to control, not compassion. It obeys force, not feeling. You won't ascend by pleading for validation. You'll ascend by detaching from the need for it. To become untouchable, you have to stop waiting to be understood. They don't care about your excuses. They only see outcomes. You don't gain strength by being heard. You gain it by becoming unreadable. The soft version of you. The one that over-explains, that craves reassurance, that forgives too fast. That version is a liability. That version is bait. Kill it. Everyone wants to be unbreakable until it costs them their comfort, until it demands silence, until it demands loneliness. But here's the truth. Silence is not emptiness. It's formation. Stillness is not weakness. It's structure. When you walk through betrayal and remain still, when you bleed and never flinch, when storms tear everything around you apart and you don't move, that's when they start to fear you. Because real strength isn't loud, it's precise. Machiavelli didn't preach kindness. He preached leverage. He didn't believe in being liked. He believed in being unreadable. Because when no one can track your emotion, no one can manipulate your direction. You become unsteerable. Control begins where reaction ends. The moment you stop explaining yourself, you step into power. Emotional silence. Let them throw shade. Let them poke. Let them test. You respond with nothing. Why? Because the loudest man is rarely the most dangerous. The dangerous one is silent, cold, watching, calculating. Your reaction is their reward. Your anger is their access. Your softness is their grip. You must learn to weaponize silence, to let pain speak through your precision, to let heartbreak refine your aim. Not numb, disciplined. Abandonment. They will leave. People always leave. When your light dims, they vanish. When your hands are empty, they pull away. Don't take it personally. Take it as proof. Proof that your survival was never their mission. And now, neither is your approval. Because once you stop expecting loyalty, you stop being disappointed. And when you stop being disappointed, you become dangerous. Isolation is the forge. Isolation isn't punishment. It's purification. It's where applause dies and discipline is born. It's where fake allies fade and your real identity forms. Most men shatter in isolation. They beg for noise, they crave eyes on them. But not you. You disappear, you sharpen, you train. You evolve in the dark where no one can interrupt you. You don't announce it, you just return. Colder, stronger, unreadable. A shift in identity. The man who fears being alone is easy to control. The man who craves applause will always break under criticism. But the man who no longer reacts, he becomes untouchable. You don't need to yell to prove strength. You don't need to cry to express depth. You don't need to explain your pain to validate your growth. You just move. And in moving without announcement, you create mystery. And mystery is power. They can't prepare for what they can't predict. They can't destroy what they can't touch. They can't manipulate what they can't read. Revenge is evolution. You don't need revenge in words. You don't need to come back with an apology or a smile. You come back with presence, sharp, precise, unreachable. And when they ask, "Where did you go?" you look once, say nothing, and keep walking, because you were never gone. You were just building where they couldn't watch. The war within the enemy isn't outside. It's not betrayal, abandonment, or disrespect. It's the voice in your head, the one that whispers, "Take it easy. You've done enough. You deserve a break." That voice, that's your leash. That's your weakness in disguise. Kill it, because that voice will comfort you into collapse. It will lull you into softness while the world sharpens its claws. The most dangerous war is always internal, and you don't win by motivation. You win by elimination. You eliminate hesitation. You eliminate justification. You eliminate the version of yourself that needed sympathy to survive. Calculated coldness. You want power? Then stop broadcasting your progress. Silence isn't just safety, it's a strategy. When no one sees your moves, no one can stop them. When no one tracks your growth, no one can sabotage it. Let them assume you failed. Let them whisper you disappeared. Let them celebrate your silence. Because when you return, they won't recognize the version of you that's been sculpted in solitude. That's not motivation, that's domination. Self-mastery as the final form control isn't about holding others. It's about holding yourself. You can be brilliant, talented, even feared. But if your emotions control you, you're a puppet, pulled by strings anyone can access. That's not power, that's exposure. You want to be unbreakable? Then become emotionally invisible. No outbursts, no panic, no public chaos. You study, you execute, you disappear when it's time to bleed, and return only when the bleeding has become blueprint. Command of emotion. This isn't numbness, it's awareness. You feel, but you don't show it. You process, but you don't perform it. Anger becomes planning. Sadness becomes structure. Fear becomes fuel. Machiavelli said, "A man should appear merciful, faithful, humane, but be ready to act otherwise when necessary." Translation: wear the mask. Never be the mask. If they can read you, they can reach you. And if they can reach you, they can reduce you. So disappear, not from the world, but from their grasp. Betrayal is inevitable. Here's what most can't stomach. Loyalty is an illusion. Most people aren't loyal to you. They're loyal to their benefit from you. The moment that benefit fades, so will they. Don't hate them. Expect it. Betrayal isn't the failure. Needing them in the first place is. You want freedom? Then stop leaning. Be your own army, your own structure, your own backup plan. Because when everything collapses and everyone leaves, you remain. The power of absence. When you remove your presence, you remove their control. They can't measure your progress. They can't sabotage your path. They can't prepare for your return. That's the true move. Vanishing isn't weakness, it's recalibration. You subtract yourself to multiply your power, and when they least expect it, you reappear. Not bitter, not broken, but upgraded, colder, sharper, unreachable. That's the real revenge. Not attention, not explanation, just evolution. Solitude is strength. Most people crumble alone. They need witnesses. They need applause. But not you. You walk alone because no one else was built for this path. You walk alone because you've outgrown the need to be held. And here's the harsh truth. Solitude strips you clean. No more noise. No more illusions. Only what's real remains. You, your focus, your will to keep building while the world forgets you. This is not about hate. You don't hate those who left. You just don't need them anymore. They called you cold. You called it clarity. They said you changed. You said, finally. This isn't about revenge. It's about replacement. You replaced weakness with discipline. You replaced validation with vision. And they hate that. Because now, they can't reach you. Now, they need you more than you ever needed them. The final law. You want to be unbreakable? Then you must accept this final law. You must be willing to walk alone. Forever. Not until support shows up. Not until you're understood. Not until they finally care. Forever. Because the most dangerous man isn't the one surrounded by allies. It's the one who needs no one. Machiavelli knew, real power isn't loud, it isn't popular, It isn't explained, it's felt, quietly, unapologetically, from a distance. So walk alone. Walk when they mock you. Walk when they betray you. Walk when there's no path, only your breath and your purpose. Because when you return, not with noise, but with presence, the world won't understand what you've become, and you won't explain it. You'll just keep walking, unbreakable, untouchable, unseen, in total control. If you've made it this far, you're not just scrolling, you're searching for something deeper. Thanks for trusting me with your mind. If this spoke to you, like the video, hit subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to reclaim their power. Until next time, stay sharp and think deeper.